up, guys? Real deal MMA and boxing, baby, with another one. So, today we're going to discuss my opinion. Okay, this isn't everybody's opinion. You might not agree with it, but we're going to talk about my top prospects in each weight class. I had to really think about this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go through it with you guys as I'm doing it. Um, and we'll see what I get, because I just really wanted to make a video, and I was on my way home from work early, and I was trying to think of like, what can I do? Everybody does like the best strikers, the best grapplers, fun people do funny little other, topics and stuff like that. Who talks the most crap? Who's the fattest? Who's got the weakest hands? Who's overrated? I'm just going to give my top prospects, one fighter in each division, and I'm going to stick to the men's division. So, we're going to start off with, the flyweight division. And hold on a second, I didn't get this ready. But let's just say this. In the flyweight division it's pretty stacked if you want to be real. I mean, there's really good fighters, but there's like a kind of a log jam at the top, where we've seen Brandon Moreno. He fought Davis and Figueiredo like 600 times. And it just gets old and nobody wants to see that anymore. But then, there's been some change ups. You've had, Alejandro Pantoja, Brandon Royval back in the mix. And now you have some other fighters coming up. And it's interesting because you wouldn't think that that somebody from this part of the world would be the, not to say that they don't have good fighters, but you wouldn't expect it. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, and he's super duper good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this guy right here, Tatsuro Taira. Now, Tatsuro Taira is no joke. This dude, he's good. Okay, he's got really good grappling. Okay, and his hands aren't bad either. Okay, but he's been able to maintain his zero, which isn't everything, but he's steadily progressing. And he's making pretty much mincemeat of all of his opponents. So that's a big deal. I mean, he's not just going out there and having close, fights. How many fights does he have in the UFC now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 5-0 in the UFC. A decision, armbar decision, TKO. So he finishes his fights. CJ Vergara, that was a good armbar. Aguilar, triangle armbar. The Edgar Chairez fight was it was a little competitive, but not really. He was able to dominate he just is always a little bit ahead of everybody else, whether it's in the grappling department, even with the striking. But he did get touched up a little bit by Edgar Chairez. Carlos Hernandez, that was just, I mean, you're talking, he dominated him. It looked like it was going to be close in the beginning. Eventually, just lands that TKO. We're not really used to seeing him get knockouts in the UFC. It's usually submissions. Let's see how many submissions he's got. He's got 7 submissions, 4 by knockout. The knockouts that he got was when he was in Japan. So this is his first knockout in the UFC. But he's the guy to watch out for in the flyweight division for me. That's my opinion. I'm gonna go with Tatsuro Taira. And, I mean, that's just, like I said, that's just my opinion. I think he's the guy to watch out for. If he goes on a little bit more of a run, we can see him really, really going into the top 10 soon. I mean, he's already number 13 in the flyweight rankings. So, I mean, I was trying to keep this video where guys aren't in the rankings, but he's already in the top 15, number 13. I can see him going in there against, let's see. Does he even have a fight lined up yet? Oops, wrong division. Let's see. Well, he's number 12 on here. And think about this. Number 11 is fighting for the title. Steve Urseg is fighting for the title right now. Well, maybe no, that's what it is. Okay, because they have the champion. So really he is 13. So Steve Urseg is number 12. Tatsuro Taira is number 13. So Steve Urseg is fighting for the title and he's ranked number 12. So who's to say that if Steve Urseg wins the fight somehow, some way, if he doesn't get grappled and slept on the whole time by Alejandro Pantoja, Steve Urseg can win that fight, man. He's got really good hands. But because he's fighting for the title, I also like Steve Urseg. I could put him on here, but I just think that Tatsuro Taira is more to his game, and with that grappling, he's going to be able to do something. But if he caught somebody like Tatsuro Taira with that combo that he landed on Schnell the other day, man, he's efficient. He might not be the most powerful guy in that division, but he's efficient. Um, so yeah, I mean, if the number 12 guy's getting a title shot already, who's to say Tatsuro Taira doesn't need another fight or two before he gets the title? And I think that they want to get some different diversity in these champions. You know, they got a few Americans, Brazilians, whatever. I think they want to get somebody like, you know, they have one Chinese champion, but it's a woman. I think they want to get like a Japanese champion or something. Like, you know, make this like, you know, bring in different audiences. Um, so yeah, that's my flyweight pick. Okay. Now we're gonna move up to bantamweight. Okay. And I don't think that this person is even in the top 15. No, they're definitely not. Um, Let me see. Wow. As a matter of fact, they're like 41st. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you who it is. It's Peyton Talbot. What the hell? This kid. This kid is phenomenal. Okay. Um, I mean, what he just did to Cameron Simon, who's a dog. Cameron Simon's a great fighter. Before his last loss against Christian Rodriguez, I was on the high horse with I was riding the wave with Cameron Simon, especially because he was out there with Drickus Duplessis. I mean, they look like this the small and big version of each other, just dominating. I didn't realize how small Cameron Simon was for that division until that fight where he was in there against Peyton Talbot, who's a pretty decent sized bantamweight. Um, Man, I can't. I have to give credit to Cameron Simon. He took some punishment in that fight, and he did not just give up at the first sign of pressure. But he got his ass worked by my motherfucking man over here named Peyton Talbot. This boy, let me tell you something now. Let me tell you something real good. The way this kid was able to stalk Cameron Simon and the efficiency in which he throws his strikes was just phenomenal. The knees, the elbows, the hooks, the uppercuts, landing at will. I mean, what was it? What kind of rate was he landing at? Was it like 70%? Let's see. Peyton Talbot versus Cameron Simon. Punch stats. Let's see. Really? Where is the strikes? Sorry, guys. I really wanna. Why are they not showing this stat? Why is it not here? This is stupid. I thought I saw. Well, this just irritates me. Bullshit. Let's see. Come on, baby. Okay, here we go. So he got one knockdown. He landed 79 of 129 significant strikes. Total strikes, 83 of 135. Man, at 61%, he more than doubled Cameron Simon, okay, in totals. But 79 of 129 significant strikes. Very, very efficient. Round one, he landed 59 of 105 strikes. Round two, he only needed to land half of that. So he landed 50%, 50 and 50, 56 and 50%, but they were so efficient. He landed 65% to the head, 26% to the body, 7% to the leg. I mean, landed by position, 68% by distance, 7% from the clinch, 24% from ground. Listen, to go in there and do that to an up-and-comer like Cameron Simon was really impressive, man, because I like Cameron Simon a lot. As a matter of fact, I really didn't. I thought he was going to do better. I knew that this kid, Peyton Talbot, had a lot of hype behind him from previous fights. I didn't even see a lot of his fights, but this was the fight where he made me a fan. Okay, he's good, and he's the dude to watch out for. I can see him moving, shooting up from the top 40 all the way to the top 15 this year in 2024. If he fights two more times this year, because he's already got one in, it's only March, could see him fighting in June, maybe late May, June, or whatever, July, and then at the end of the year, who knows? Maybe even two more fights at least this year. And if he steadily progresses up those rankings, like right now, he just beat Simon. I could see him going up and fighting. Let's see, you could give him somebody like a Basharat, who's number 28. Uh, who I think should have won his last fight against Zahabi. I'm sorry, I think he won, and I don't know. That was just. I'm not a big Basharat fan, but I think he won. You could give him somebody like Montel Jackson or something like that, or even a Saeed Nurmagomedov or Daniel Marcos, somebody, or Adrian Yanez. That would be a good match for Peyton Talbot. Get him in the top 25. Adrian Yanez needs to bounce back. He's lost two fights in a row to Rob Font and Jonathan Martinez. Get him in there against Peyton Talbot to defend his top 22, top 23 position. Anyway, enough about him. Now we're going to move on to the featherweight division. Okay, who's like the up-and-comer in the featherweight division? All right, and I'm not talking about guys who are all the time that are in the top 15. We already know that, Arnold Allen and Mavzar Evloev and these guys are, they're going to be up there soon. Like Mavzar Evloev is probably going to get one of the next title shots. If Volkanovski will probably get the rematch if he wants. I think he should take some time off, honestly. He's been really active. Ilya Topuria knocked him for a loop. So I think he should take some time off. I think really it should be Ilya versus Mavzar. And after that, we'll see who goes next. But Mavzar Evloev, man, he's the real deal. But let's see. In the featherweight division, somebody who isn't ranked, I would say everybody's going to say Diego Lopez. I would say it's between maybe Diego Lopez, maybe Joe Anderson Brito, who's number 17, or I could even go with Yusuf Zalal. Now, Yusuf Zalal has been out for a while. He was dealing with injuries. Um, so I'm gonna just go between these three guys. I'm gonna say this my standout guys. I have three of them. Is Diego Lopez, Yusuf Zalal, and Joe Anderson Brito. I mean, each of those guys is on a win streak. Diego Lopez's first fight in the UFC, which I think was short notice, was against Mavzar, and he gave him a real test. It was insane. So, you know what? I'm just going to stick with him. Diego Lopez. His first fight in the UFC, it was a last minute thing. I believe he was supposed to fight somebody else, Mavzar. He comes in, I never even saw anybody. I never saw him before. This dude's haircut was funny. I was looking at him like he was going to get smoked. He goes in there and goes all 3 rounds with Mavzar, almost breaks Mavzar's leg. You seen Mavzar screaming in pain. I thought he was going to be out with injuries for a year or something because the way this guy was trying to twist his knee off. I mean, he was putting up all kinds of submission attempts. He was standing and banging with him. Mavzar's just a little too technical and a little too good, and was had a full training camp. But to come into the UFC and do that against somebody like Mavzar Evloev, who's established already, has multiple fights in the UFC, and is a highly ranked, highly touted prospect. Now he's number 3, 4, 5 in the division. On the verge of probably getting the next title shot if Volkanovski doesn't. I don't know what's going to happen if Volk's going to Spain to fight Topuria there to try to get his belt back, or whatever. I don't know, but Diego Lopez he's good. You got to watch out for him. I would say he's not my favorite fighter, but he's definitely entertaining, and he's somebody you need to watch out for. So that I would put him in the number one guy that's not ranked going up into the division at featherweight. Okay. Now we're gonna go to lightweight, and this guy is really good, really good. I already know who I want. It's a Mateus, but it's not Gamrot. It's Mateus Rebetzi. He's a Polish guy. All right. What do they have him ranked at? He's number 38. Okay. His last 3 wins: Nick Fiore, Loic Radzabov, and Roosevelt Roberts. Now, great. I understand these aren't the best uh, opponents. Roosevelt Roberts, Radzabov's not bad. Nick Fiore, whatever. I get it. But the way this guy's winning, he's winning in usually dominant fashion. The first fight against Fiore was a decision. Second fight, TKO. Third fight, submission. I think those are his only 3 fights in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Um, he's 19-1. So he won in the Contender Series on August 30th, 2022. He fought Rodrigo Lidio, submission, rear naked choke in the first round. Got a contract to the UFC. Second fight, well, this is now his first fight, which was January 14th, 2023. It was the UFC Fight Night 217 or whatever, Strickland versus Imavov, Nick Fiore. He wins that by decision. Then he fights Loic Radzabov 5 months later, wins by TKO second round, and then he fought Roosevelt Roberts, submission, armbar first round. That was the night Ziria Prohashka fought Alex Pereira. So he fought in November. So now December, January, February, March. He's due. I don't know if he's got a fight book. Yes, he does. He's fighting. He's fighting Joel Alvarez. That's a good fight. That guy's from Spain. He's 20-3. Mateus Rebetzi is 19-1. I'm gonna go with Mateus Rebetzi because he can dog walk you with the grappling. He's a savage. I just feel like this guy is the real deal. We haven't seen him in there against real good competition yet, so we have to see what happens when he fights somebody like Joel Alvarez. Um, but at the same time, Joel Alvarez was on a run. All right. He lost his first fight in the UFC, Joel, against Demir Ismagulov. Then he won against Belarusdo. Then he beat Joseph Duffy. Then he beat Alexander Yakovlev. Then he beat Thiago Moises. Then he lost by TKO, which I think he was having a good fight against Arman Sarukian. And then he beat Mark Diakiese in July of 2023. So he's been out since July of last year. Hasn't been as active really, but he's a solid fighter. So I want to see how Mateus Rebetzi does against him because this is a little step up in competition. Okay, it definitely is. Um, it's not like a significant jump up in competition, but he's number 39 in the division. And what is Joel Alvarez? Number 20. So he's jumping up almost 20 spots if he beats this guy. He's going to go almost to the top 15. He's closing in on the top 15 if he beats Joel Alvarez. So, I mean, that's my lightweight prospect. Now we have to go to welterweight. And this one I was trying to think of before because, obviously everybody's going to say, oh, who's the next big guy? Shavkat Rakhmonov, and I get it. Shavkat, he's like my favorite fighter in the UFC, especially in the welterweight division. It used to be Colby Covington. I still love Colby. That's just my opinion. I love his shtick. It's annoying, but it's funny. But at welterweight, you still have a guy that's not in the top 15, Michael Morales. This kid is good. I mean, he beat Adam Fuggett, Max Griffin by decision, and Jake Matthews. Now, granted, these were two decisions in a row, but he was schooling them. He's really, really good. He's got technical, good striking. He's long, he's rangy. I mean, let's look at his size. He's 6'3". He's got, oh my God, I don't see his reach. I know he's got a decent reach. He's only 23 years old. Okay, Michael Morales. I'm sorry I haven't been showing the photos. I've been, I'm slacking. I got a little lazy. I'm sorry. I should have been showing the photos. So, this is Michael Morales right here. Okay, this kid, very good. That's my welterweight up and comer. This was my lightweight. This guy right here. Dude's a savage. This is the guy that I'm looking at lightweight. Okay? I showed you Tatsuro Taira. I showed you Peyton Talbot. Um, everybody knows who Diego Lopez looks like. He's got the funny hairdo. This was my featherweight pick. So I had Tatsuro Taira, Peyton Talbot, which was him. I had Tatsuro Taira, Peyton Talbot, Diego Lopez, Mateus Rebetzi, I have Michael Morales. Sorry that my video is a little off, but I wanted to do a more in-depth video. So he's my guy at welterweight. We got to see how his takedown defense is and all that. I understand, but for me, I'm talking about my opinion for styles and what I like to watch. He's got a style I like to watch. He could get a little bit carried away with his movement sometimes and get a little off, maybe a little bit hesitant, or but it seems like he just has the capability to. He's got good distance management. He's in, he's out. You know what I mean? He's got good fundamentals in striking. But we got to see how he does in there against a good grappler. Like when he starts getting up into the top 10, you're going to be going against, like, if Colby's around, you never know, or Bilal Muhammad or Sean Brady. These guys, they'll stink it up with a fucking, they'll just rub their nuts all over your ass the whole fight. It's just how it is. But I like him. I can see him going a long way. We'll just have to see where it goes from here. Let's see. Let's see this. Okay. All right, we'll do it like this. All right, now middleweight. We're going to go to middleweight. I just did welterweight. Now we're going to do middleweight. Come on. Okay. So, we're at middleweight now. Brendan Allen is not number 18. He's like number 7. So I don't know how do they have this off so much? Doesn't make any sense. He's number 6. So how do they have him? There's a mistake here. Brendan Allen is number 6. That's why I was looking at that, like, what is going on here? I would say right now, though, the guy to watch out for at middleweight, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Okay? This guy is a fucking savage. What he just did to Roman Kopylov was astounding. This dude, Roman Kopylov, has some of the nastiest fucking kicks. He's a great striker. He just looks like one of those Russian dudes who just never left a village and just sits in front of a fucking punching bag and fights for fucking, his nose is kind of crooked. He just looks like he was just fighting fucking, those weird Russian people in the streets for fun, he's a savage, Roman Kopylov, and he outwilled the guy, took him down, did his thing. He beat Edmund Shabazian, Marc-Andre Barriel, another tough cookie, Josh Frem. He then when the first time I saw him fight, because I didn't see him because I guess he was out with an injury or something after this loss against Kevin Holland, Adolfo Vieira. Right? He comes in there, fights Adolfo Vieira, who was undefeated at the time. He was submitting everybody, and he submits Adolfo Vieira, one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners like of all time. And it was like a big deal. So, and then since then he's been on a run, man. Okay? He's 30 years old, 6 foot, 185 pounds. He's a savage, this kid, man. He is a fucking savage. 185 pounds, this is the guy to watch out for. Now we have to see what happens, because once he starts getting up there, you start getting into the top 15, see, they have it where this is the whole MMA rankings. They have even friggin' Bellator guys in here. Anyway, once you start getting up in there and you getting in where guys can grapple with you, like, for instance, Hamzat Chimaev, or somebody strong like Jared Cannonier, or Israel Adesanya. He can stave off the. He's got good takedown defense. Israel Adesanya might not have the best takedowns or anything, but this dude, it's hard taking him down because he's so lanky. So that's my middleweight pick. Okay, now let's go to light heavyweight. Let's see. Who do we got as the top new prospect coming up? Let's see. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this is tough. Okay. At light heavyweight, I look at Vitor Petrino, but then I look at Carlos Ulberg. I like Carlos Ulberg. I would say watch out for him. Vitor Petrino, he's built like a Greek god. He's huge. He just beat Tyson Pedro. He beat Modestas Bukauskas. He beat Marcin Prachnio. Carlos Ulberg, he submitted Da Un Jung, Ihor Pretoria, Nicole Negumereanu. I don't know. The level of competition is pretty even, but Da Un Jung is legit middleweight, and he beat him And Carlos Ulberg has great hands. His technique is phenomenal. That one loss he has against, what was it, Kennedy and Chukwu? I think the guy who just lost to the old OSP. I mean, he got, yeah, Kennedy and Chukwu. That was a nasty knockout, but he was in that fight. As a matter of fact, that was his debut. That was Carlos Ulberg's debut. Okay. And he came in there and he was going blow for blow. And eventually he got put up on the cage, and Kennedy and Chukwu just knocked his lights out. It was hard to watch, and from that moment on, though, I knew that this kid was good. I just thought maybe he got a little overzealous in that fight, and he got caught, and it happens. These are light heavyweights, these are big dudes, and he got slept. Since then, he's been fucking flawless. I mean, he had a decision against Fabio Charant. Whatever, it was a clear win. Okay. Then he goes on, knocks out Tefan Nchukwi, knocks out Nikolai Negamoranu, knocks out Ihor Pretoria, and then beats Dao Jung by submission rear naked choke. And he was piecing him up too. So he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak in the UFC in the light heavyweight division. This is the guy to watch. I also would say Petrino. He's like a close second for me. Um, the guy's size, Vitor Petrino. This guy's size, he's undefeated. He's 26 years old. I mean, he's beat some pretty decent guys. Anton Turkloj, Marcin Praknios. But he's a durable guy. Bukowskis, you know, and then Tyson Pedro, his head was kind of out of the game. But now we're going to see him go in there against Anthony Smith. Okay. Anthony Smith, you don't know what you're going to get. If you're going to get Anthony Smith that fought Ryan Spann and had something to fight for, or if you're going to get the Khalil Roundtree Anthony Smith that just was slow. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Anthony Smith's going to get fucking annihilated, and I don't know. I don't know, man. I think Anthony Smith should just continue to do what he's doing with Michael Bisping before he ends up looking like Michael Bisping with an eye missing. Okay, what is he ranked? He's number 10 still. Okay, so this is gonna catapult, and I mean fucking catapult Vitor Petrino. He's going to go right into the top 10 with a win over this guy. So I can see what they're trying to do with Vitor Petrino. He's a big dude. They want to stir up that division. Who knows? Maybe if he wins that, and then look what they're doing at flyweight. But there's kind of a weird situation in flyweight. But Vitor Petrino, man, you never know. Imagine he fought like Alex Pereira, but I doubt it. They're both Brazilian. They kind of look like each other. But this guy's just big. Right? So that's light heavyweight. Okay. Now, let's go to heavyweight. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. This is another guy, Azamat Mirzakhanov. He is another one, but he is already, I think, in the top 15. He's another one, and I totally forgot about him. This dude is weird. He's undefeated. He beat Tafan Nchukwi, Devin Clark, and Dustin Jacoby. This is another guy, man. This is another guy right here. He looks like he's 50. He's 34, but this guy's good. He's very good. Athletic, and you would look at him and go, "Oh, he looks like he's gonna grab you and sit on you and maybe throw some bombs." But he's athletic. So I mean, I don't know. He's up there too, man. He's really close. He's really close to Carlos Olberg and Vitor Petrino. I mean, it's pretty crazy. All right, so now let's go to heavyweight. Enough of the bullshit. Who do we have? Who's the best prospect at heavyweight? That's not in the top 15. I remember when Alexander Romanov was supposed to be, and then he lost to Tybura and Volkov. Blagoy. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, wait. You know who? You want to know who is not? He's not even. You can't even find him. And let me tell you, he's not even on the thing. Robelis de Spain. Do they even have him on here? No, it's crazy. Let's see. Robelis de Spain. This dude right here is 6'7", 261 pounds, and he's got like an 80 something 7-inch reach or something crazy like that. It's the longest reach in UFC history. I'm sure you guys have heard of him already. He was on UFC 299, O'Malley versus Vera. He knocked the dude out in 18 seconds. I mean, check this out. So he is 5-0. Every single fight so far has been ended in the first round. First fight went just under 5 minutes. The next fight 12 seconds. The next fight 3 seconds. The next fight 4 seconds. The next fight 18 seconds. So his first fight in the UFC went 18 seconds. 18 seconds. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, and I mean, yeah, he fought Josh Parisian. Is he really that great? No. Was he on a skid? Yes. He's 1-4 in his last five. So yeah, I get it, but this is Robelis Spain's first fight in the UFC. So it's not surprising that they're going to give him somebody where he can, get his feet wet, get it, get into the UFC, make a name, get one official win under his belt. You know, he's no joke. I mean, he's got Taekwondo. He was in the Olympics. The issue is that he's come into MMA late. This is why the UFC grabbed him now because he's 35 years old. The thing that's good about it is that these bigger guys usually don't slow down as quick as the smaller guys. It's just how it is. Like they're just bigger. Um, they're not in as many wars. Usually, you see these big guys. If there is ever a war, 9 times out of 10, if there's a knockout, it's one hit and they're done, and then they're not taking sustained damage over 3 to 5 rounds all the time. Like some of these smaller guys, man, they go to war and they'll do all 5 rounds and they just lose a part of themselves every single time. Um, as to where, like, yeah, there's a concussive knockout, one punch is bad too. But if you get hit once versus 150 times in the same spot, you know, chances are maybe that one shot isn't going to do as much damage as that constant barrage of punches over, so many different fights. Um, so these guys usually don't like age or they don't get out of their prime as quick. I mean, you see a lot of these heavyweights. There's so many different heavyweights who, like, you had Randy Couture back in the day, who was a champion. You had, you still have Stipe fighting. You had Daniel Cormier who's fighting. You got uh, the guy, the Russian guy who just fought Walton Acosta. Uh, uh, Waldo Cortez. He just fought, what's his name? Yeah, Arlovsky. That's what I was looking for. Andre Arlovsky is like 40 something years old and he's still in the UFC. So these guys are able to last till they're older, is all I'm trying to say. So Robelis Despain at 35 years old, yes, it's older and he did start late, but he's a little bit more fresh. I know he did Taekwondo and stuff like that, but he's definitely fresher than most of these heavyweights, and he just brings a new aura to the heavyweight division. I mean, he kind of reminds me of an even more dangerous striker than Cyril Gane. And Cyril Gane is a great striker. He moves around like he's like a heavyweight wonder boy or something. So that's definitely a plus. And he's gonna kill everybody that's in his way. I think he's gonna, whoever they put in front of him. I'm not saying it's always going to be first round knockouts because you can't just go out there and wing punches like that. I mean, but he was falling backwards. He tripped and caught him with a counter punch and knocked down Josh Parisian and finished him. So this guy is no joke. He's got the reach and size that'll just, I mean, nobody's going to have that kind of reach. I mean, do they have his reach on here? I mean, just for shits and giggles, I think they have it on Wikipedia as like 84 inches. Oh, 87. Okay, so they do 87 inches. Because I thought it was 87, but I could have sworn I saw it somewhere else and they had it at 84. In the Olympics, he got a bronze medal in 2012. Okay, so I mean, he wasn't an Olympic gold medalist, but he was still an Olympian who medaled in Taekwondo. So, you know, let's be serious here. He's got world class striking, and a lot of these heavyweights are just fat doofballs and don't really have the skills like these smaller guys with the striking and the movement and the this and the that, and you only have like Cyril Gane or um, you know just a couple of guys in that division, Tom Aspinall, or, you have Sergey Pavlovich, who's not the best striker, but he's got such power and decent boxing that he puts people out. Um, Jairzinho Rosenstruik's jab is good, Alexander Volkov, but this guy's going to take it to another level. I mean, he's just got an insane reach. So you're going to be throwing a punch at him, and he's just going to, he'll be able to hit you from such a distance. Like, I mean, I know he's in there against other heavyweights, but let's be serious here. 87 inches, man. That's like 7 feet or so. I don't know. It's fucking huge. Like, how long is 87 inches? Let's see. 87 inches to feet. That's seven and a quarter feet. So his arms are fucking over a foot longer than I am. I mean, it's just, the guy is a Goliath. Anyway, I just wanted to make that video. I know it was a long one. I just wish people like, share, subscribe. Please help me out. I just wanted to talk about it. I know some of the video gets a little bit, I go off and I'm trying to type, but I wanted to make something. I wanted to give my opinion on it and tell me what you guys think of my rankings. I had Tatsuro Taira, in the flyweight. One of my new favorite fighters though is Peyton Talbot. I mean, Diego Lopez, Mateus Rebetzi, um, Michael Morales at welterweight. Um, who did I have at middleweight? I forget. Light heavyweight was like Carlos Ulberg. Heavyweight is Rebelis Despain. At middleweight, who did I have at middleweight? I'm pissed now. Who did I have at middleweight? I gotta find out. Hold on. Before I let you guys go, who did I have at middleweight? I forget now. It was. Oh, Alexander Hernandez. Fluffy. So, those were my picks. Tatsuro Taira, Peyton Talbot, um, Diego Lopez, Mateus Rebetzi, Michael Morales, um, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, Carlos Olberg, and Rubelas de Spain. These are guys that aren't really, really highly ranked, or if they're even in the top 15, they're working their way up, but they're not big names yet, but they're definitely people to look out for, in my opinion, and you're going to see a lot more of them. That's my take. This was just a video on my, guys that I'm looking out for coming up through their divisions respectively. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some advice on what you think I should do. Some other videos. Some what do you guys want to see? What kind of content? Tell me what you guys want to see. Um, but please just hit the subscribe button. It'll help me out, guys. Please. Thank you.